Watch. It's episode 3. It's episode 3. Be excited. Yeah. Oh, God. Hi. Oh, mwah. Episode 3. We doing it. First off, shout out to the 18 or so of you as of recording this video who have subscribed, commented, engaged in the videos. Seriously, it's been like a huge morale boost, especially after screwing up 2 of the videos in editing. But I promise this one will be better, I hope. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Mochi, what do you have to say to the people? She says go do push-ups. Do it. Okay, let's start with some statistics. Statistics. It was my favorite class in college, I swear. I built a spreadsheet to track my win-loss ratio, decks played, and notes on how I felt during the tournaments. I'm trying to collect as much relevant information as possible. The more data points I have equals the better decisions I can make. That said, I only just started tracking this a couple of days ago, so it's patchy. I don't remember all the early events, when they were, what I was feeling, etc. But this is what I've got so far. Also, me and ChatGPT are beefing over spreadsheet formulas, so if any of you are like Google spreadsheet wizards, please, I could use some help. Thank you. All right, here is the Route to Worlds 2025 spreadsheet that I'm currently working on. As you can see here, I have the month of May, total tournaments played in May 2. I know this is not accurate, but I couldn't remember what other games I played in May, so I just put the 2 I remembered. Total games played 9, total wins of those games, so this is not counting how many rounds I lost in the best of 3s. And this is just how many best of 3s I won, how many best of 3s I lost, or best of 1s I lost. Win ratio, most used deck, struggled against, and key lessons. So if we go down to the tournament log, this is the one that took me 3 hours to build with ChatGPT. I have the dates here of which ones I played, where I played, what decks I use. I kind of have just a few like of my already made decks or decks I plan on playing in the future in here. Win-loss ratio, mental state going in before and mental state afterwards. So as you can see here, I went in focus and then I got tilted really easily after going on a 3-loss streak and then getting a 1 win for a bye. And then this one, I was already distracted because it was not like a big league tournament. There's only a few of us. And then I went into it kind of distracted because I was doing trades and stuff like that. I did go 2 and 3 against Guardy. Pretty much my significant lesson out of this one was wasn't prize mapping. I was just kind of taking whatever prizes I could. Yeah, small tournament, only 5 of us, etc., etc. So it's pretty simple, honestly. It's a good way to track what I'm using, what I need to work on, and then my overall record. And I can go back to this if I ever forget, like how many miles do I need to ruck this week? Or maybe if I'm feeling like I want to try out a different deck, I can see here, I'm like, man, I've been using Blissey a lot. Let me go ahead and start using Guardy. Or I've been struggling against Raging Bolt a lot. Let me go ahead and use Raging Bolt and practice those lines. But if you guys have any suggestions for this, or if you guys want to see anything on here, please let me know. I'm open to making this more of a community project, to be honest, because I still play a lot of Pokemon alone. I'm not even gonna lie, and I think that's part of my mental state right now is not a lot of my friends play Pokemon. As a matter of fact, none of my friends play Pokemon, so I'm the only one playing, and I know people in the community, obviously, but I don't actively like play with them outside of the events. So yeah, damn. I was like, damn, I'm lonely kind of thing. No, it's just, I'm still new, right? I'm still new to the community and I'm still making friends. I'm definitely not practicing as much outside of events as I should be. Okay, moving on. Would you believe it if I booked another coaching session? So far, coaching through Medify has actually been pretty worth it, not even gonna lie. Obviously, everyone's experience is different, but hey, a win's a win. Medify ought to sponsor me one day, the way I'd be using all these coaches. So this time I actually got to train with Josh Frink. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's a super strong player. He's been playing competitively pretty much his whole life, and he has multiple wins, basically living my dream, dude. Like, this dude is super cool. He's also part of the Shuffle Squad, which, fun fact, is a legit competitive PTCG team, and jealous. That's so cool to me. Who would have thunk, man? Who would have thunk? So we had a 2-hour session where we focused on 2 things. My personal path to Worlds, and then also sequencing. Now, we'll get into my personal path here in a little bit. Let's go over sequencing first. Josh shared a sequencing flowchart, which I recreated based off of our Discord combo in my notes. All right, so there's two flowcharts, actually. There's the main sequencing flowchart, and then there's a hand reset flowchart, which we'll go over here in just a sec. But you want to start with, what is the goal for your turn, right? Do you need to set something up? Do you want to take a prize? Do you want to disrupt? Whatever it is you want to do for that turn, set your goal. What am I trying to accomplish by the end of the turn? What pieces do you need to accomplish this goal? All right, so you need to know, okay, maybe I need a research. Maybe I need a rare candy. Maybe I need a certain Pokemon, right? From there, you go into thinning. So you got to play cards that, this says the, but it's supposed to be that, remove undesirable cards from the deck to improve your odds of drawing into what you need, i.e. Nest Ball, Buddy Buddy Poffin, etc., right? Those are good thinning cards of just getting stuff out of the deck if you're trying to draw into something else. Do not play thinning cards if you want to draw the archetype, item, tool, Pokemon, etc. of the card that your thinning card retrieves. So, for example, if you're trying to draw into a Pokemon, don't play a thinning card that retrieves that card. Now, a thinning card could also be something that just discards, right? But the idea is, if you're going to use a specific search card to grab something, don't use it too thin, the deck, if that makes sense. Why the arrows are missing, I don't know. All right, don't ask me, I was tired. So once you're done thinning the deck, you're gonna go ahead and go into random draw, use cards or abilities where you have no say in the outcome of the draw, i.e. Pheasantippity's flip the script. Use random draw in order of cost. So use the free ones first, then use the if condition met second, and then use like discard your hand, right? Whatever is the free one, use that one first. Once you're done using random draw, you're gonna go into decision-making draw. Essentially it's the same as step 3, but you have a say in what you draw, i.e. Dracula's Recon Directive. And then you're gonna use specific card draw. This kind of goes back to that nest ball thing in the thinning step. So you saved your nest ball before you thinned to now you use specific card draw. It's in the name. Look at this, look at this. I try to put an apostrophe here, but it doesn't have apostrophe in that font. Make it make sense. Cards that get you a specific card that you need. Cards that do this can also be used in step 2, multi-purpose, if you get the idea, right? You don't always have to skip, right? If you don't have a thinning card, you might as well just go ahead and grab it. And then you have once a turn actions. These are actions that can only be used once every turn and cannot be reversed by any other actions, i.e. supporter cards, energy attachments, or once a turn non-draw abilities. So you're kind of saving all the last minute things until you have a full hand. The idea behind this sequencing flowchart is that you're building up your hand in your field to give you as much information as possible, right? So I want to do all my random draws, do all my specific card draws, and then do my once a turn actions, because I might draw into something to where I'm like, okay, well, I planned on doing this one way, but now that I have all these other pieces, I can do something else. Don't block yourself, right? So save those once a turn actions to the very end. All right, now finally, you're gonna decide what you want to proceed with, the original goal, or if you're gonna pivot now that you've got more information. Alternatively, there's the hand reset supporter alternative flowchart, right? So this is your researches or your Ionos. So you know you want to play a hand reset supporter, i.e. Professor's Research, so you're going to perform steps 1 and 2, right? You're going to still look at a goal for this turn, and then you're going to look at what pieces you need, and then you're going to go, okay, do I have a hand reset? Yes. All right, then I'm going to skip to step 5, which is specific card draw. So I'm going to skip all the random draw because I'm about to reset my hand. So if I draw into something that I might need later, I don't want to have to discard it. I grab my specific pieces. Proceed to step 6. Use all once a turn actions that are not guaranteed post the use of our hand reset supporter. So an example of this would be Muse Restart, right? You have to have less than 3 cards in your hand, so you might as well use it before you reset your hand and then you have more. Play the supporter once you have a new hand, return to step 2 and proceed normally through the flowchart unless it's Iono. If the supporter is Iono, we must consider with all of our shuffle cards the impact of shuffling the deck. What that means is, remember when you play Iono, your hand goes to the bottom of the deck. Now you kind of want to see, is there a way I can shuffle my deck after I Iono if I need those cards from the bottom of my deck, right? If you play Iono and your hand's trash and you're like, I don't need this ever, then yeah, sure, you don't have to worry about shuffling your deck. But if it's say like something kind of important that you do need, you might want to consider, how can I shuffle my deck after I play Iono? Now, if you do have a hand reset and you're not going to play it, you just proceed to step 3, and in between each instance of draw, go back to step 2 and recheck for said supporter, right? That's if you need to play a hand supporter. This happens a lot in Guardy, where I might be like, okay, I need to play a Professor's Research to get rid of all this energy, so I'm going to start thinning my deck and doing other things to get that Professor's Research in order to then use it to discard all of that energy. Whew. All right, that was a lot. That was a lot. So go hydrate, grab a protein bar, And if you guys have questions about the flowchart, of course, you can always schedule a coaching session with Josh Frink, because this is his baby. Or if you guys want to, just leave a comment down below. I'll try to help you guys as best I can. I am so new to using the flowchart, so I don't have all the answers just yet. Or also, if you guys check out the live stream, I use it all the time, so you guys can ask me questions there on twitch.tv/PsyPoffins. Hey, you like the little plug there? You like that? Yeah. All right. Now back to that personal path to Worlds. My goal is to go to my first regionals sometime next season. The sooner the better, but I do have stipulations. I have to have won at least 1 cup challenge and 4 league challenges. That way I know that I know what I'm doing, but then also I know that I have the stamina to go into at least, you know, a best of 3 5-6 hour tournament. So when I go to regionals, I can last a little bit longer. And then of course, once I get there, I want to go to a regionals and get practice at that level. I'm not expecting anything when I go to my first regionals because I know how hard those can be. And everyone's been saying like, when you do your first regionals, it's not what you expect. Bring food. It's a long day. But keep in mind, I need to account for taking time off of work to travel because being in the Navy makes things interesting, to say the least. Things I need to work on. I had a great conversation in the comments of episode 1 with GBS Franca, who mentioned how nerve-wracking your first regionals can be. You can prepare all you want, but that anxiety, it still hits. Then your second time around, it's way easier. You've seen the battlefield. You know what you're getting into. You know all the tricks and tips and stuff like that. Josh and I also talked about this too, and there's really no substitute for experience. But I do have a few tools to manage my nerves. Push-ups is one. Honestly, I know it seems silly, and I know it's kind of like my whole thing, but it really does help, right? You sit there, you do your push-ups, you kind of just mentally block everything out because you're just focusing on getting to that last rep. And you kind of get out of it, you feel good, your arms are tired, and for some reason that just helps me relax in a sense. Like if I just feel the mania going, right? I'm just like, okay, knock out some push-ups, get up, good to go. Mantras. I have one mantra. I don't really use it that often, but it is there in my back pocket. It's inhale, exhale, execute. Inhale, exhale, execute. So breathe in, breathe out, and go execute. Music and meditation is the third one. Super easy, right? I like to blast hype music before I go into anything exciting. And then I have tried meditation in the past. I don't think I'm gonna be meditating at a regionals, to be honest with you, but like maybe just kind of sit there in the corner and just, all right, let's do this, right? That kind of thing. But honestly, nothing beats confidence built through practice. Funny thing, I still get nervous at locals, and that affects my gameplay. I get flustered, half expecting to lose, and I make silly mistakes that I immediately catch after the fact. And I do this on live as well. That timer just, it messes with me, man. But recognizing it is step 1. Now it's about slowing down my play, drilling that sequencing chart, mapping my prizes consistently. And I mean, I'm talking about like at the beginning of the game, as soon as I know what deck I'm playing against, all right, this is the card I want to take, this is the card I want to take. They, like, especially against Ethan's Typhlosion, which is all single prizers, brother. You know, just getting that map out quickly helps my whole game afterwards. And actually putting in the reps with my main deck. Lately, I've been spending more time on rogue decks, which is fun, but not ideal. I think I'll save the fun builds for Twitch and YouTube. If I want to be competitive, I need to grind with my actual tournament decks. And what I mean, like, I've been playing with rogue decks, like I've been going to locals with rogue decks. I've been going to playing on live with rogue decks on off stream, off YouTube, like not recording anything, just playing. And I've been having fun, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, all right, let me play with my main decks, at least when I'm practicing by myself. All right, and that's it for the TCG side. If you want to hear about the YouTube and Twitch stuff, stick around. I'll do 10 push-ups just for you. Pardon the mess. We're still in the process of moving. Dude, last stream, I did 250 push-ups. I did 50 push-ups for every loss, and we ended the stream with 5 losses. Whew. All right, let me tell you, editing these videos has been humbling. Episode 1, my GoPro had Hyper Smooth on by default, which caused a lot of tearing in the footage because it wasn't bright enough, and I think I had the FPS too high. But it didn't show up in DaVinci Resolve, which was weird. But when it rendered, and I didn't check the rendering and just uploaded it, we all saw that. Lessons learned, I always review my footage after rendering. Episode 2 went pretty well, not gonna lie. And I didn't write down the settings that I had on my GoPro. Nice. The Blissey gameplay video, audio levels were all over the place. Lessons learned there, organize my footage, cut it down to just what I need, then adjust my audio, then add all the fancy graphics. I kind of did all of that backwards. I organized my footage first, but then as I was cutting down my footage, I was adding all the fancy graphics, which makes it really hard to normalize your audio because then you have so many cuts that you have to go in and individually adjust. So it was a thing. And I'm sure there was probably a way to do that post edit, but I just didn't do it, man. Like, just honestly. Also, music has been a tricky thing for me. I'm looking for some sort of like background track that doesn't distract when it's looped. I've been using Pokemon Diamond and Pearl music for now, but I'm still looking for that like signature sound. I've been going through like YouTube's audio thingy where they have a bunch of like free to use songs, but eventually I'd like to get to a place where I have like maybe a library of music that I can pay for and then just use. Cause like, for example, my thumbnail artist is off of Fiverr and I've been using the same thumbnail artist for all of my thumbnails because I would rather pay for it. Honestly, when it comes to like thumbnails and music, I would love to pay for editing as well. That would make my life 10 times easier, but that's out of my budget. Hey, c'est la vie, right? Pick your battles. Twitch has been honestly going great. I've got a gimmick where I do 50 push-ups every game I lose, and I love it. I might even expand on it. I got really excited when people actually started chatting. Maybe a little too excited, but I mean, I had streamed twice with no viewers, and then my third stream, and like I had a bunch of people, and they were not a bunch of people, it was like 3 or 4, but they were actually active in the chat. So yeah, I thought that was really dope. I'm always just gonna be me. If I get overly excited, hey, get strong or get smart, man. So right now I'm only streaming Thursday and Friday nights. I'm keeping it light until I get faster with editing because I am focusing on, I have 3 big things that can all be full-time jobs: YouTube, Twitch, and then also Pokemon, right? And these are my hobbies, not to include work responsibilities, life responsibilities, and then my own time for myself. So I'm not going to be, I realistically am going to be only streaming once or twice a week for the foreseeable future. And speaking of which, this goes into the whole YouTube thing. Originally, I wanted to post 1 episode of Route to Worlds every week and then 1 episode of a gameplay video every week. Same problem. I have to be mindful of my schedule and not burn myself out. It's easy when I was on vacation. I've been on vacation for the last like 2.5, 3 weeks. I could stay up late, I could wake up, start editing, all that. But now I'm going back to work, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm gonna have a few hours every evening to work on something. So I have to prioritize. So the new goal right now is just 1 gameplay video a week and then 1 Route to Worlds every 2 weeks, give or take, unless there's like a big update. So I'm limiting myself to 90 minutes of editing every night. If I can't finish what I want to finish in that 90 minutes, hey, c'est la vie, move it on to the next day. And of course, except for like Thursdays, Fridays, and maybe a weekend to give me time to stream and do other stuff. And only if I finish everything else I need to do on the non-content side, because really, this is a lot to do on top of working full-time, like I mentioned, and I'm planning a wedding, and I'm playing Pokemon, so it's a lot. I've pulled way too many mid-week all-nighters in the past, and I've burned myself out on content before. If you didn't know, this is not my first time doing content, and I'm not doing that again. So I have definitely learned when I was younger, trying to push content where it just, then your quality falls, then you hate it, and then it's like, bro, it's just not even worth it at that point. You gotta have fun with this stuff. And so far I am having fun, and I'm making sure my perfectionism doesn't ruin it for us, all right? I'm gonna just keep it simple. Honestly, I'm having way more fun with YouTube than I've ever have before. Like, I really like the series that we're doing, and I really like Pokemon, honestly. It's like the most fun I've had with the game ever. All right, rocking update. last thing. So full honesty, I forgot to record last episode's ruck. I was adding a Revenant Warrior ruck with some of my friends from the shop, and we were sober for maybe an hour. It was chaos. I got like 4 minutes of usable footage-ish, and I'll show that here at the end. But the plan right now is 1 mile per lost match. I'm changing it from round to match just because of the amount of tournaments I'm planning on playing, and then also like the amount of time it takes to do that. Because if you want to do like an 8-mile ruck at a good pace, it's going to take you anywhere between 3 to 4 hours. If I want to do that all in one go, I have to be mindful. And I think I'm at like 6 miles right now that I owe. So it's like, you know, obviously I'm going to try to split it up throughout the week, but yeah, 1 mile per lost match, I think is going to make it make sense. I think is reasonable. I was definitely really excited when I first did this, and I was like, oh yeah, 1 mile per lost round. And I'm like, bro, you're at 13 rounds. Let's not. So again, 1 mile per lost match, and it's probably gonna be, I'm gonna compile them at the end of the episode, update the tracker, and then like cut to the ruck footage. And if I can't record, like if I'm doing my ruck at work before I go to work when it's gonna be dark and I'm not allowed to record on base, I'll just use my Samsung Health screenshots. I have this app that tracks like my mileage, and I'll just use that and then put it at the end of the episode. Because I still want to keep this like a thing, but I also have to, again, going back to everything else I just talked about, like I have to be mindful of the time, right? How long is it gonna take me to do X, Y, and Z? That's all I've got for this one. Thank you guys so much for being part of this journey. This is super sick, honestly. I have so many cool things planned. I want to do like a Top Gear, but with Pokemon, and that's gonna take a lot of planning, but like stuff like that, like this is such a cool concept, and it's, I don't know, I'm just having a lot of fun with it. So with that being said, remember, it ain't over till it's over, baby. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Yep, bring a 50 cal out of the I don't know where the mission cards went. I brought 1,000 here yesterday.
Okay. What'd I do?
Do you know somebody?
Brittany, where are you? Do we have a Brittany around here somewhere?
Brittany! Brittany! Brittany!
You guys have mission cards to hand out, but they're over here in the box on the table.
Like it.
Kiss it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You must kiss. Kiss the camera.
We've all kissed it.
Kiss it. Oh. Hey, wait, you gotta see this image on your channel.
Yeah, that's the photo I'm sending to people. That way they know I care.
I can't post that on YouTube.
Now I get up and it's like so weird. Now I'm inverse myself. What are you doing?
When you have kids, that's gonna go away. What? I served as a natty guard. I was on deployment.
I'm not doing that.
Lick it. Lick it, pussy.
Oh, it's so wet. It's so wet.
You want some munchies, but the next stop is actually lunch.
You said munchies.
So,
Gatorade water.
Do you have your office?
Somewhere.
I'll take a water. Thank you.
I have wet wipes if anyone needs them.
and we also rented this space.
I didn't shake it enough.
As clean as it was when we got here, guys, okay?
No, cleaner.
Or cleaner.
Hell yeah.
I will.
That I left it in. Other way around, bud. I've got to split it like this. You go sneak this into those pods.
Oh yeah.
So which half is which? There we go. All right. You keep these.
Wait, no, those are copies.
So yeah.
You keep that.
No. You take this. I'll be back.
Drug deals.
Thank you. I don't know who you are, but I love you. Thank you. How's your rock experience so far?
Introspectively deal with something.
Yeah.
Like no matter how like I am going to deal with something mentally, emotionally, spiritually that like I have to do. You know what I mean? Like all